Okay, let's now talk about the blockchain briefly. So what is the blockchain? So a blockchain is a chain of blocks, right? Blockchain. And what is a block? So a block, imagine that, I mentioned in the previous video, like imagine that you have a ledger that looks like a spreadsheet, okay? So there is like a bunch of records on it, like a name, like Mary, John, and then a certain number. Or it could be like, you know, if you run a supermarket and then you have all your products, the ledger could be the date of purchase, and then the can of tomatoes, and then the price, and then the supplier, and the expiration date, stuff like that, okay? So you have this ledger, and then you have, imagine that this is like a page of a spreadsheet, like a sheet, okay? That's a block, okay? So you have a block with a certain number of transactions in it. And then in the way the Bitcoin network was designed is that every 10 minutes, and it's average 10 minutes, sometimes can be 9, sometimes can be 11, because the network automatically adjusts, but it averages about 10 minutes. And it's similar to when you are, you know, if you're running on an airplane from point A to point B, the airplane looks like it's going in a straight line, but in reality it's going a little bit too much on the right, and then it corrects, it goes a little bit too much on the left, and then it corrects again and goes a little bit too much on the right. So it's a zigzag thing that if you zoom out it looks straight, right? So it's the same way the 10 minutes, sometimes it's 9 minutes, sometimes it's 11, but if you do the average it out, every 10 minutes there is a block that is produced by the miners. We will talk about the miners as well a little bit later. So in this block is basically, let's call it one page of this spreadsheet with all these records, right? And so every 10 minutes, one of these blocks is basically validated, and it is validated through a network of miners. So there are different entities in the blockchain ecosystem, and some of these entities, they are just running a node, which means that they are mirroring the whole database of the history of the database, okay? And they are just keeping it live online. And some other nodes, they are actively producing the next blocks, these are the miners node. And the miners, they use a lot of computing power and a lot of electricity to do very complex mathematical calculations to break and find basically one of these hashes. And when a computer in the mining system, the distributed mining system, find one of these breaks one of these hashes, it basically is enabled to mine the node and is awarded with some Bitcoin as a reward. And then everybody else is taking that block that was added by that computer that was awarded. The block is added into the blockchain, and everybody else will mirror that. So now there is a new block in the history, and it continues like this every 10 minutes, okay? So there is a great incentive to go after, to do this mining, because you can earn Bitcoin in doing it. And in the beginning, when the network was very young, people were mining Bitcoin like on their laptops and on their PC at home. And today, if you look at the mining facility, this looks like big data centers, because they have to have tremendous computational power and use tremendous amount of energy, which some people say, oh, it's too much energy, expensive. No, that energy is a wall that is protecting the network. So that energy is a feature. So Bitcoin, the fact that Bitcoin uses a lot of energy to protect the network is a feature. It's not a bug or something that some people want to change it, but no, this is a great thing that is in place. And we will talk a bit more about that later. So you have this blockchain basically that is a chain of blocks. And every 10 minutes, one of these ledger, the ledger is basically expanded. And as I mentioned in a previous video, one of the key feature of the blockchain is append-only. And what does append-only means? It means that you can only add, so it's like this spreadsheet, and imagine that it's like a big, huge, very long database, because every 10 minutes there is a new sheet added to it. But you can also look at it like one single super long sheet, right? So every transaction, every time a new sheet is added to the queue of the previous ones, to the history, that becomes immutable. Becomes like etched in stone. So nobody can go back and change it anymore, which gives this attribute of append-only immutability. And append-only means nobody can go back and change it, so that creates a complete different level of trust in this system, right? Because imagine, it's a system where it cannot be tampered with, because the history is absolutely immaculate. Nobody can go back and change it. So everybody can see, and also, so the combination of this thing, so the immutability of his history, and the other component of it is that it's transparent. Why? Because it's decentralized. It's decentralized, meaning that there are like thousands and tens of thousands of nodes on the network all around the planet in complete different jurisdictions, complete different geographical areas, and all these nodes, they have a copy of this history. So this means the system is fully transparent and fully, it basically enables ethical behavior, because nobody can go back and change it, right? And this is an incredible feature that if you really understand this feature, you really understand one of the things that makes Bitcoin so valuable. So nobody can stop it. Nobody can go back and change it. And it's basically an animal that came alive on his own. It's a little bit like if you think at mathematics, for example. You think somebody, you could say invented, but it's more like a discovery, right? Discovery of natural laws and stuff like that. You could say somebody discovered mathematics, and then they gave it to the world, and now nobody can take it back, right? There's no one that if you do in your mind, in your head, 2 + 2 = 4, nobody can come and ask you to pay for that, and nobody can stop you to do that. So this is an immense value, and this is similar. So the Bitcoin system is out there and is basically assumed a life of its own. Okay, let's stop here and catch up on the next one. Bye bye.